Difficulty with accountability. The why of things. Part 12 of 15. In emotionally intelligent relationships, people take responsibility for their actions and understand the importance of accountability. When someone avoids accountability or blames others for their mistakes, it can be deeply confusing and frustrating because it contradicts the behavior we typically expect in healthy relationships. Difficulty with accountability refers to an inability or unwillingness to take responsibility for one's actions, decisions, or mistakes. People who struggle with accountability often deflect blame, make excuses, or shift responsibility onto others to avoid confronting their own shortcomings. This can create a toxic dynamic in relationships, where the person never acknowledges their role in conflicts or issues, leaving those around them feeling unheard and invalidated. What it is: a consistent pattern of avoiding responsibility for one's actions, whether through deflection, denial, or projection of blame onto others. This may manifest as refusing to apologize, downplaying harmful behavior, or twisting situations to make oneself the victim. What it isn't: occasionally failing to live up to expectations or making a mistake. Healthy individuals can recognize their missteps, apologize, and work to make things right. A lack of accountability, on the other hand, is a chronic behavior pattern where responsibility is rarely, if ever, taken. Why people struggle with accountability. Difficulty with accountability often stems from an inability to handle criticism, protect a fragile ego, or avoid facing uncomfortable truths about oneself. The reasons for avoiding accountability differ depending on the individual's personality traits and underlying emotional struggles. Here's how difficulty with accountability manifests in different cluster B disorders. IDD, Impulsive Disregard Disorder, or ASPD. People with IDD often have little concern for the consequences of their actions and may not feel accountable to others at all. They may lie, manipulate, or blame others without remorse, viewing accountability as irrelevant because their focus is on achieving their own goals. When confronted, they may become hostile or dismissive, making it clear that they don't feel responsible for the impact of their behavior on others. ESFD, Extreme Self-Focus Disorder, or NPD. For those with ESFD, accepting accountability is a direct threat to their inflated self-image. They may see themselves as superior and faultless, so acknowledging mistakes or wrongdoings conflicts with the grandiose narrative they maintain about themselves. If criticized or called out, they may react with anger, deflect blame onto others, or offer shallow justifications. Their focus is on preserving their image at all costs, and accountability is seen as a weakness or flaw they cannot afford to admit. EID, Emotional Intensity Disorder, or BPD. People with EID may struggle with accountability due to their emotional volatility and shifting perceptions of reality. In moments of intense emotion, they may genuinely believe they are the victim, and their perception of events may be clouded by their feelings. As a result, they may find it difficult to see their role in conflicts or issues. Afterward, when emotions settle, they may feel regret, but in the heat of the moment, accountability often escapes them. DASD, or Dramatic Attention Seeking Disorder, HPD. Individuals with DASD may avoid accountability because it detracts from the attention and admiration they crave. If something goes wrong, or if they are at fault, they may spin the narrative to cast themselves as the victim or hero, refusing to acknowledge their role in the problem. They may also deflect blame onto others to keep themselves in a positive light, ensuring that they remain the center of attention and admiration. The impact of avoiding accountability. When someone consistently refuses to take responsibility for their actions, it can lead to feelings of frustration, resentment, and powerlessness in those around them. The person on the receiving end may feel like they're constantly being blamed for things that aren't their fault, or that issues in the relationship are never resolved because one party refuses to acknowledge their role. This dynamic can lead to a breakdown in communication and trust, as the person avoiding accountability creates a toxic environment where growth and resolution are impossible. For the individual who struggles with accountability, avoiding responsibility may offer short-term relief from discomfort, but it ultimately stunts their emotional growth and damages their relationships. Without accountability, they cannot learn from their mistakes or make meaningful changes, leading to repeated patterns of conflict and failure in relationships and personal endeavors. Protecting yourself. If you're in a relationship with someone who avoids accountability, it's important to set clear expectations for how conflicts should be addressed. Encourage open communication and stress the importance of owning one's actions, but recognize that change is unlikely unless the person is willing to face their behavior. Be mindful of situations where you're being unfairly blamed or manipulated into taking responsibility for things that aren't your fault. In some cases, it may be necessary to distance yourself from the relationship if the refusal to accept accountability leads to ongoing emotional harm or instability.